Beautiful ignited souls, we are ready for a new creation. Welcome to part 2. We are dead. Sacrifice. We aim to show in this video how the black-white struggle is embedded in the teachings of sacrifice, even from the Christian standpoint. And so be prepared to be amazed. We didn't have to move this, which is like indicative of Jesus as well, which is 1 1. Reminds me of Sarah. We didn't have to move the D here, which is also indicating direct with number 4, as if the D is like the dome here. This is like the 40 of whatever you were. That's the thing I got. Okay. Or whether you could have it left or right. Then we had, of course, W. W we didn't have to move because and here is where W is, because W means there is double of you. Just like I would say with Jesus and Judas. I'm just making a reference. So if you're a Christian, please do not crucify me right here. In fact, I cannot be crucified anymore. But I'm just saying, you are a double. You have your double. And whether it was in a shadow form or not, we are talking about W. That is how the word comes about. It's you and another you. And we see that whether it was your breast or your buttocks or your cheeks, all the W. We see that there is perhaps, okay, I have done videos on this. Okay. So that is W. We also know that the W, of course, has a way it can turn like an E, like an M, and so on. We've done this. Fox, we didn't have to, which reminds me of Fox TV, Gypsy Journey, or traveling, of course, or your GPS, you could say that, but we had Gypsy Journey, Headquarters Zone, and Inland Revenue. What I found out, and please, I want you to really pay attention to this, and you will understand something that has been in our society, and perhaps you're quite aware as well. I don't want to underestimate your intelligence here, but this is what I got through numerology, and so I am showing. When we had this thing about black, BLACK, I kept wondering as a person of color what I should call myself, because all along I keep writing black or filling in forms and I could hear the word lack. It's like I am reverberating and activating lack in my life each time I say black. Another thing I keep hearing is like be lack. It's almost like someone's in my ear keep saying be lack, be lack. And I'm glad they're not mentioning my name because, I probably would go schizophrenic. So then I thought, well, I will look in the middle of this. And I thought, even if I did this, which is lack, which is 3, 4, and 3, so this would be 7. This is like saying there is a creation happening right there. And of course, we see 2, 2 here. So I will just do the whole thing, which is 1, which is 3. So there is uniformity and structure in the numerical vibrations. But remember what we have said about number 3. Number 3 is like flighty, it's like busy, it is very creative. But if we are not aware of the construct of this 3 threes here, we are constantly being under this sacrificial mode with double 3 as being black, and then we wonder why we are feeling that we are being crucified so often. So people, please share the videos, like and subscribe. I don't often say this, but I feel when we begin to see this through the lens of numerology and see black as a function instead of seeing it as something to describe yourself, you can describe yourself in a state. When I see that there's a totality of something happening here. But let me show you something else. But when we do white, WHITE, going by everything that I have showed you here, that 2 denotes death, it also denotes bonding here. It also denotes that agreement because it is an equal sign. But it also can be division. Okay, so going by that, we have 5, 2, 9, 8, 5. Can we see now? There is the story of Jesus Christ. So here, Jesus is 11, which is 2. So this bonding here, this is the 2 that you have to be fighting. You're with your brother, you're fighting your whatever it is. That, of course, as we say, 2 is rock. This is why Jesus said to his disciple Peter, upon this rock I will build my church. The word rock equals 20 or 2 or something like this. Then you have south. So listen to the words that, of course, there must be other words that has some kind of thing, but I haven't come across a word that denotes 20 or 2 to help me understand this in any different way. So we have south, meaning you go down, planting. We have road, meaning you drive on this. You have let's see, road south, dead. You have dead or death, which is also 20. You have okay, there's some words, I may put them up. So, but here we have 5. I have actually, since I've been doing this, compile some like a board of number 5s, which of course I will put up as well. So 5 is key. 5 is Eve. 5 is Christ, because Christ came to save mankind. So we have in white on 2 ends of the word white, both ends of the word white, plus it has a W here, which is like very creative. It doesn't have to break, which is why God was always asking to break, to burn, to bury, to build. Would be that formula that would break and mold. So, heat, we see heat is right there. So, who was doing the heating? And who was feeling lack? And of course, anything you do for a period of at least 21 days, it becomes you. Unless you have this other part of yourself in that 40 cycle you're doing to say, come on, slaves, I want you to teach me how to see better. I want you to teach me how to breathe better. I want you to teach me how to plant something that will cultivate in the right season that I can become more prosperous. I want you to help me make something very creative. If you hear the noise, that's what my grandma would say. This is the truth. So this is the 14 gods, and I have to highlight the gods right now. So the gods would be saying right here, okay, and you could say, I want you to divide me from this, put a division from between me and this person or this situation, so I don't have to be constantly concentrating on that. I want to you to call or help me learn how to use my voice so I can call and I can set myself free and whatever. This, of course, I want to be less of that situation, and of course, ask for abundance. I want to be moved. I want to create. I want to end this situation. So before I used to see this, like sometimes I used to see them as some negative, but you are the one who's supposed to use these as your slave. You have the power to bring something to an end and say, hey, that's it. I've had enough of that. And form something new. So you're ready to form, because like it says, and God formed the man as through causation. You are doing whatever you're doing. Breathe into whatever it is that you do and plant your seeds. So this is what I was just giving a little bit on the gods, so you get the flavor of the gods, how you can use them. The gods also have their makeup in our in their functions in our body. They actually take certain parts or position, like your limbs, like the gods. I have done videos as well to show the 14 gods, actually, like in number 3, and the legs, and how the legs use as movement and so on. So I'm just giving an example on that. There is much more to be learned about the gods. So back to this black and white, and this is something really crucial, I think, for us to digest. And when we see this, then we begin to, I feel it would be good to take out the white and black out of the equation of identifying yourself in the way of color instead of function. And I don't know to say that I have all the answers, but however, I feel that when you say you are black, you are actually hinging on be lack. And this hair, isn't this the less than, I'm trying to think, like the K, having a K hair, I think it actually is like less than, okay. Anyway, but that is in itself. So I want to show you as well. When we do the numerical value for this, however, they both come to the same 11. So let's look at this. This is 11, 7, and 4, 11. So we have black is 11. And then we have white, which is 7 plus 9. So this is 24. 29. So 2 plus 9 is 11. So we have 11 here for white. Now, one is 29, meaning 2 nines, 18. We could say this, which is showing like full cycle. And here, 1, 1, 1. If we had to do the multiplication sign, because again, you were asked to multiply, replenish, be fruitful. 1, 1 is 1. 2 nines, 18. 1 plus 8, 9. Now, this also means that 1, like 1, 1, whether it was multiplication sign, it comes here. And 9 comes here. So that is very indicative of our need to have both black and white in our function for creativity, because one cannot really exist without the other. However, there's another thing I want to show you. It's about the root. It's like saying there are different routes to the mountain. And of course, when you get to the mountain, it's on top of the mountain. Everybody is at the top of the mountain. But how did they get there? How did you get there? So, this is what we want to show. That as 2, which if we added this like that, 2 here, they both equal to, we have 2 here. Meaning, both black and white have access to hair. This is where Christ, as the sacrifice template, this is where he has his disciples. Remember, people, the 13. Now, what we do, we could just wipe something here, have a little break because he broke bread. So we break the B. This is where he's at with his 13 disciples. Let's have the 3 looking more free. This is where he's at, and having his bucket of wine, which he calls his blood. And everyone, of course, with the equal sign, black or white, they are having their access to this here, which is A as well. And we have A, right here in the middle. So there is access. Let's say A for access, right here. And that is key. Okay. Then we have this is really, it kind of got me trying to make sense of this. Why is it important for people who consider themselves black to change their perspective of themselves and say people of color or brown or pink or something? I don't know. Okay, fine it. Let the intuition work for you. So, but I feel that it is important with this two, the column with 2, which equals 6 or 9. Again, adding this together, 6 plus 9, I meant to mention that would be 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. So this is the 666. That is the beast, the mark of the beast that we are meant to ride. Everybody is meant to ride this beast. Okay, and so I want to ask, well, if both people have access to hair, how do we, in fact, let's see how they have access to hair. The B is hair, the A is there, the L is hair, there's a little lock, and the K is there. So basically, let's have another color. Black is actually B L A C K. This is black hair. Now let's look at white. W H in headquarter zone. W H I inland revenue. Where's T? They can go inland revenue. They can go to T. Let's see where T is. R S T. Oh, let's do T properly. Okay. They can go to T and back to E, where they become a new creature. Who's able to venture WHI? So they are in the new, always in the new or the news. New WH in headquarter zone. Headquarter zone is where taxes and revenues and what have you and all these things are happening. Headquarters. If you go to a country, you have to give your information. It's the headquarter zone. Okay. Inland revenue, where taxes and monies and everything is there. But of course, you have to go back into 2. 2 is where the agreement happens. So this is where, this is a concentration, if you like, concentrated part, because here, BKT is in its purity right there, where you could get drunk, where you work, where you slave, where you do everything. The agreement, once anybody who's involved in this 13 here, they agree, they have to pay. And so, who has this 2 and 2 here? Who is doing the 40 years in the desert? Who is doing the 40 years of fasting? Who is doing the 40 days and 40 nights in the wandering? Who? Who is doing the sacrificial thing? Who? And there is, of course, one, which actually is quite hopeful when we begin to understand one. Now, I would like to do this in word form as well so we could see the succinct nature of all this, because perhaps it would offer a route how we can actually overcome all this. Then we have here 5, of course, which is key, going back to the new. So basically, on either end of the spectrum, the white person can make or renew himself right here, the white, of course, because, and heat is in the middle. When something's in the middle, it's like it hides, just like this person's feeling a sense of lack because they're feeling heat. by. Okay, so I hope this makes sense, people, because I feel that there's a mathematical construct or structure in place that has inhibit people's behaviors where we had not been able to make sense of this, and that is why I feel that people are being restrained, if you like, especially in religious settings, not to delve in numerology, because you will what discover things like that. So there is more to this. I could say, for instance, if we had two, the word two here again would denote death. The word two here would denote death. The word three would denote 11, and 11 here. The word one would be 7. So if we were to add this together, so this would be 4 plus 2, 6, 6 and 6, 12, and 7, 12, and 7 would be 19. So this tells us that black has everything from 1 to 9, but it's about finding the way. And adding this together, of course, becomes like Judas. We see that as well, is the number 10. That means there is a way of being able to have the perfect seed of masculine and feminine, and you plant. Perhaps it's no wonder that black would be like this denoting of darkness, where there is darkness, because the word darkness also equals 10. So this is where planting is happening. So a lot of planting is happening here, but who's cultivating? So if you want to cultivate and harvest this thing, you have to change and say, okay, well, I planted last year. It's time for me to now learn how to reap, how to cultivate. Let's see what we can do here briefly. I like the board. Oh God, yeah. So 5 would be 6, 8 would be 4, 9 is 6, 2 is 4, 5 is 6. So here we have 46. So this is 10, 10, 20, and 6 would be 26. So 26 is God. 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 So God equals 8. And of course, this would be the god of setting. That is Hollywood. Set equals 8. God equals 8. That's the god of setting. So that's what I mean. I'm glad I was able to do that. I didn't do the whole thing with you because of time. Seeing how 10, we know 10 is powerful. It is powerful. But for people who are wanting to enjoy the deliciousness of the process of how this 10 is bringing out fruits and so on, instead of seeing it as in the matrix as 101, where you have to really fight, and that it's actually 101 would be mirror in itself. That's 10 this way, 10 that way. So it's really, so basically it would be 1. And then so 1 is, of course, another thing that made sense with WHITE. When you have heat, there is who? We. Beautiful ignited souls, I can assure you, you won't want to miss part 3 of this video. If you haven't watched the first part, I urge that you watch it. I do apologize for the abrupt endings, but that's how it is technically. So thank you for watching and subscribing, and stay ignited.